Next, I'd like to invite to the stage an individual we are also very privileged to call an Indiaspora Founder Circle member, Frank Islam. Frank is an incredible philanthropist and entrepreneur. He's an avid writer, has a special commitment to civic, educational, and artistic causes. Frank, I'd like to invite you up to the stage, turn it over to you to tell us more about your incredible story.
So it's hard to see people there, but I'll take a different tack in my speech and talk a little bit about where I came from, what my journey, my story, not my destiny. And I also will talk about some of the activities that our foundation, Frank Islam and Debbie Drossman Foundation, is involved. So thank you, Gabrielle, for the wonderful introduction. I also like to take this opportunity to express my deep gratitude to MR, where's MR? Sanjeev, as well as Gabrielle for inviting me to speak. We should give them a warm welcome and also give them a big round of applause. I guess they left the audience. It is an honor for me to be asked to speak at another India Diaspora event. I was privileged to share my thoughts on philanthropy at India Diaspora's 5th anniversary leadership forum last year with Sunil. And Sunil, thank you very much for all you do. You're reminded and guided by the words of President Kennedy, who said, "To whom much is given, much is expected." I want to reinforce and expand upon the main points that I made back then in my remarks here today. But I have been asked by Gabrielle to talk about my journey, how I got to this point in my life and career. I will do so. I came to the United States from India at the age of 15 to pursue the American dream. At that young age, I was not quite sure how I would achieve that dream. But I knew even then that being a business owner would be part of it. I also knew that it meant being apart from my family and developing my own career track with a little parental or professional guidance. But I recognized that it was an opportunity. That's the way I saw it, an opportunity to define myself in America, the land of opportunity. The process of defining myself in America had 5 stages: getting a good education, developing my apprenticeship, becoming an entrepreneur, and building a strong, talented management team that shared my vision and my values, and moving on to other things. I was encouraged to come to the United States by Professor Wolfgang Throne, a visiting professor of mathematics from the University of Colorado at Aligarh Muslim University. He saw potential in me and asked me to apply to University of Colorado to get the quality of education required to be successful in the emerging field of computer science. I did, and I was accepted. And I went on to get a bachelor's and master's degree from computer science from University of Colorado. That gave me the knowledge that I needed to go into business. When I graduated with my advanced degree, I was not prepared to go directly to owning a business. That's because I did not know how business operated. I had no exposure to business prior to starting college. So I knew I needed experience before launching my own venture. So I worked with the 2 major information technology companies here in Washington, D.C. area for about a decade to learn the ropes and the ins and outs of doing business. That gave me the skills and real-world grounding that I needed to start my own business. After doing that apprenticeship, in 1994, I purchased a company for $45,000. My wife, Debbie, and I mortgaged our house to purchase this company. Within 13 years, along with my key management team, we took that company from a workforce of 1 employee, that's me, to more than several thousand employees and approximately $300 million plus in revenue. My team of talented managers were central to everything. success in business is team sport. It is not me, but we who made it happen. In 2007, I sold my company to Perot System, and that sale allowed me to establish a private foundation along with my wife, Debbie, and begin to engage in philanthropic activities. That's my journey, my story, in a nutshell. But as all of you in this audience who have made your own journeys, my journey was not a straight line. It was not always easy. There were twists and turns. There were dark and desperate days in my life. And the final destination was not certain. What encouraged me to prevail on my journey was a belief in myself and those around me and the opportunity presented by the American dream. Success has taught me to move forward, but failure taught me to never go backward. From the time I started my business, I knew implicitly that you needed to move forward, and if you did not, you'd be left behind. In other words, I was purpose-driven. That's the same perspective that I have brought to my philanthropic involvement. Let me say this. My journey can only happen in America. It is America's inclusiveness and openness that provided me the ladders of opportunity to succeed. These are the strengths and the values and the qualities of America that all of us can proudly and truly embrace. Let me shift my gears and move from my personal journey to focus on philanthropic engagement. It's much more rewarding to give and share than making any money. I'll begin by quoting President John F. Kennedy, who in his first inaugural address famously said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." For we Indian Americans, President Kennedy's request should be modified to state, "Ask not what your countries can do for you, ask what you can do for your countries." As the members of the Indian diaspora, we recognize dual obligation in the goals of this organization. These goals call upon us to collaborate, to forge stronger bonds between India and the United States, and to build stronger capabilities in both countries. The third goal of India Diaspora reads, help underprivileged Indian Americans and Indians by redefining the philanthropic model to promote more effective ways to donate money, services, and time. In my opinion, the best thing we can do to redefine that model is to engage in what I call purposeful philanthropy. But philanthropy takes many forms. The philanthropy that is of a pivotal importance, in my opinion, is the power of purposeful philanthropy. Purposeful philanthropy is making investment directed at creating a difference in the pivot point areas that matter to the future of society. The returns on those investments are changes to conditions and are the creations of individuals who will become change agents to address those conditions. There's a distinction between the purposeful philanthropy and charity. The distinction is a critical one. The focus in charity is to provide a handout. The focus in purposeful philanthropy is to provide a hand up and to enable and empower people by giving them a helping hand. There certainly must be charitable support and assistance to address the needs of the socially and economically disadvantaged and natural disasters. Considering the hurricanes last year and the wildfire this year here in the United States, and the flooding in Bangladesh last year, the dust storm in northern India this year, the importance of generous charitable giving to well-recognized groups such as the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, the Doctors Without Borders, and local nonprofit becomes evident. Charity as the sole means of philanthropy, however, has serious limitation. It does not get at the root cause, nor change the underlying reasons for the need for the charity. By contrast, purposeful philanthropy concentrate on improving circumstances and conditions. This hands-up approach can take a wide range of forms, ranging from eliminating contaminated water that poisons those who drink or bathe in it, to enhancing the safety of working conditions, to developing the requisite knowledge, skills, abilities, attitude, and behavior for a person to be successful in life. The pivot point areas that can be leveraged and effectively addressed to effectuate change and to achieve positive outcomes for the purpose of philanthropy are virtually endless. My personal priority philanthropic areas are education, arts, peace, and civic engagement. I have chosen those areas because they're important to me, because I know that implementing improvement in them can make a substantial and meaningful difference. Let me give you short reasons for my selecting those areas and tell you a little bit about my investment in them. As you know, the education is the bridge to the future. It's an opportunity creator. It moves people up the ladder and to help others climb the ladder with them. It's a powerful equalizer for opening door to all to lift themselves out of poverty. Education frees the human mind from the shackles of ignorance. In the education arena, I have supported many scholarship programs here in the United States. My most significant investment, though, has been in India, where in February of last year, my wife Debbie and I dedicated the Frank and Debbie Islam Management Complex at Aligarh Muslim University. At that dedication, I predicted, from this management complex will come the future leaders who will make the world a better place. I firmly believe that. I also firmly believe that the students has always been our best hope. This is my way of saying thank you and keeping the hope alive and well. Now, art. President Kennedy once said, art nourishes the roots of a culture. It connects and inspires citizens and communities. It has a unifying and healing power. The art transcends all boundary. It represents the best of our humanity. I agree with President Kennedy's perspective, and that is why I agreed to serve on the board of the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts and to invest in its program for the Kennedy Center for giving them several $1 million to Kennedy Center. Now, world peace. We are living in an increasingly dangerous world and turbulent times. World peace is essential for the future of this planet. There is a much deadly conflict now and threats of it around the globe, which must be controlled. Recognizing that, my wife Debbie and I support the U.S. Institute of Peace by giving them a very generous contribution, and the Woodrow Wilson Center, both of which bring scholars and practitioners to develop programs to try to find peaceful means for conflict resolution. And the free press. The free press is one of the defining qualities of a healthy democracy and a means for promoting civic engagement. The free press is a cornerstone of a democracy. It is the pillar of a democracy. Recognizing this, my wife Debbie and I are supporting Alfred Press Friendly Partners, a scholarship to bring experienced journalists from India to work at a newspaper here and study at the University of Missouri School of Journalism. That's a brief summary of some of my philanthropic engagement in areas that are most important to me. I would now like to shine a bright light on an area that needs much more attention in terms of philanthropy. that is the support of the democracy itself. In this 21st century, democracy is descending and autocracy is ascending, not only here in the United States, but around the globe. Numerous studies have shown that, for example, a Pew Research Center survey last year of citizens in 38 nations around the world found only, and I quote, a shallow commitment to representative democracy and substantial percentages willing to consider non-democratic options across all of those countries. Let me bring it up close and personal by focusing on the two countries of our shared heritage and shared history, that's America and India. India and the United States are the world's two largest democracies. These are the values that bind us together. Active and engaged citizenship is essential to keeping those democracies vital and vibrant, and exemplar for democracy worldwide. The Pew study found that in the United States, 40% of the respondents were fully committed to representative democracy. 46% were less committed, and 7% preferred a non-democratic options. That's not very good, but it is exceptional compared to the findings for India. The Pew study disclosed that all of the countries surveyed support for a strong leader who's unchecked by the judiciary or parliament is highest in India. Only 8% of the Indian respondents were fully committed to representative democracy. 67% were less committed, and 9% preferred a non-democratic options. The Pew finding, in conjunction with other studies that I have reviewed, indicate that citizenship support is eroding in these democracies rather than increasing. That's very scary for the future of the US, India, and the world. And that's the reason that at the beginning of this year, I established the Frank Islam Institute for the 21st Century Citizenship. The mission of the Institute is to provide a wide range of assistance and support to promote the 21st century citizenship with a particular focus on civic learning and engagement for youth in disadvantaged communities. The Institute has been launched this year with the publication of monthly newsletter. Next year, the Institute will make awards to middle school teachers across the United States. It will move forward from there to work in collaboration with other organizations here in the United States and India to seek joint solution for the civic engagement deficit. As I near the end of my remarks, let me emphasize that I have highlighted the areas of democracy and describe my 4 pivot areas: education, arts, world peace, and civic engagement for purposeful philanthropy for illustration purposes only. Each and every one of us must choose the area or areas that matter for our philanthropy. The essential thing is to make that choice and to invest. The size of the investment is not what counts. The act of investment is not just financially, but also in non-financial aspects such as giving time, talent, and ideas, or being a volunteer. In closing, I would be remiss if I did not identify one final approach to charity. That is hands off. This approach is driven by what I call an edifice complex, the desire to get one's name on a building, such as a temple or mosque or church, with little concern for what is being done there to improve the lot of the community or citizen in which it resides. Purposeful philanthropy accomplishes that. It provides the platform for maximizing our philanthropic participation and contribution as Indian Americans. That is why I'm so pleased that Indiaspora has conducted the first ever Indian American Community Engagement Survey. The results of this survey will enable us to target our philanthropic investment and unite as Indian Americans on issues in areas that matter the most to us as a group, to multiply the impact of our purposeful philanthropy. So thank you for letting me share my perspective with you. I look forward to hearing yours and to a good exchange of ideas that will empower our purposeful philanthropy. So God bless you all, and God reward you for that all you do. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. It was really inspiring, your dedication to philanthropy.